In this English lesson, I wanted to help you learn the English term a power trip. A power trip is when someone who is your boss or in authority over you starts to use that authority, sometimes in a bad way. This can happen once in a while when someone is a new boss. They might go on a power trip. They might decide that they're allowed to tell everyone what to do. They can do whatever they want. They can make you come into work early and work late. They just go on a power trip. So it's when someone in authority, like a boss, decides to use that authority to tell other people what to do. It's not nice when someone goes on a power trip. The second phrase I wanted to teach you today is a guilt trip. A guilt trip is when someone makes you feel guilty in order to convince you to do something. I don't want to name names, but there are people in certain families of mine who will give you a guilt trip if you say you can't come to a family event. Sometimes there's a family event planned and you're not able to attend, and they will say, oh, you didn't come last year, and the year you came 2 years ago, you only stayed for 1 hour. It'd be really nice if you could come. That's called a guilt trip. So they're making you feel bad. They're making you feel guilty because you're not doing something. It's not very nice when someone gives you a guilt trip. So to review, a power trip is when someone who is your boss or in authority starts to tell everyone what to do, and they're not very nice about it. And a guilt trip is when someone makes you feel guilty in order to convince you to do something. By the way, they can both be used as verbs as well. You know, he was power tripping yesterday, or don't guilt trip me. I told you I'm not able to come. Anyways, let's look at a comment from a previous video. This comment is from Harry 300. Bob, I am wondering how you started learning about gardening. Were you an agriculture student in college? And my response, no. Jen and I did both grow up on farms, however. You could say it's in our family. So thanks, Harry, for that comment. Yes, Jen and I both grew up on dairy farms. I think I've told many of you before, this large barn behind me used to be a dairy barn. When I was a kid, this barn was filled with cows, and my parents were dairy farmers, so we milked cows. This is actually the elevator where we would put hay up into the hay loft. But yeah, this is definitely where I grew up. Jen also grew up on a dairy farm. So we both grew up knowing what it meant to take care of animals, but also knowing a little bit about how to grow crops. So Harry, that's what's given us a little bit of insight into how to farm. We didn't grow up on flower farms, but we understand fertility and irrigation and how to use equipment. I know how to drive a tractor. I've been driving a tractor since I was about 10 years old. I still remember the first time I drove a tractor. It was quite a bit of fun. Anyways, so we grew up on farms. That's how come we know a little bit about farming. And that certainly, that knowledge we got as children certainly helps us a lot. Hey, I wanted to show you something else. It is very dry here. If you look down here, you can see that the lawn is starting to turn brown. It's a little bit green over there, but over here, the lawn is starting to get a bit of a brown color to it. We are supposed to get some rain today. I really hope that happens. It is extremely dry here. The crops don't look happy right now. The crops in the fields certainly want some rain. Hopefully it comes soon. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in a couple days with another short English lesson. Bye.